Mandela effects in famous movie quotes and titles. That's not the line. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas. Today we're stepping into the world of cinema, not to review films, but to question what we've all heard, quoted, and memorized for years. Because something strange is happening. Some of the most iconic lines in film history no longer exist the way we remember them. This isn't about mishearing background dialogue or fuzzy memories. We're talking about famous, repeated, culturally embedded movie lines. Lines quoted in commercials, parodied in cartoons, printed on merchandise, and used in everyday language. Lines everyone remembers, and yet the official versions are now different. This phenomenon is so widespread, it has its own category in the Mandela effect canon. So today, we're breaking it down clearly, line by line, film by film, to show you exactly what changed, what remains, and what this means for the consistency of memory in mass culture. Sex and the City versus Sex and the City. Let's start with something that should be easy to verify. A TV show title. Sex and the City. That's how many remember it. It was used conversationally, seen on magazine covers, even printed on unofficial merchandise. But if you search today, you'll find only one official title, Sex and the City. No DVD case, streaming platform, or logo ever shows in. But here's the issue. Thousands of people claim they specifically remember seeing Sex and the City on television listings, in print, and in early promotional materials. This isn't just misremembering a title. It's remembering the wrong preposition and doing it consistently across continents. That points to a deeper issue, either an unprecedented shared mistake or a small but precise timeline inconsistency. Hello, Clarice. Silence of the Lambs. Next up is one of the most quoted lines in thriller history. You probably heard it in trailers, parody sketches, Halloween masks, and pop culture references for decades. Hello, Clarice. It's become synonymous with Hannibal Lecter. It's the verbal fingerprint of Silence of the Lambs, but go watch the movie now and you won't find that line. What's actually said when Clarice first meets Lecter is, "Good morning." No creepy greeting, no drawl, no, "Hello, Clarice." Despite that, thousands of viewers remember it as the definitive line, enough to make it a catchphrase. It's appeared on parody t-shirts, in comedy skits, and on Halloween props. If it was never said, why does everyone remember it? E.T. Phone Home, modified. This one is subtle. The line from E.T. the extraterrestrial that children all over the world repeated for decades is, "E.T. Phone Home." Right? Yes. And no. In the original film, the line is phrased differently than most people recall. E.T. actually says, "Home. E.T. Phone Home." It's a small inversion, but enough to create confusion. Marketing slogans, t-shirts, and commercials often led with the cleaner, iconic phrasing, "E.T. Phone Home." So did we all just quote the ad campaign instead of the film? Or did something shift in the media record over time? Life is like a box of chocolates. Forrest Gump. Now onto Forrest Gump, and one of the most famous lines in modern film. Tom Hanks's character famously says, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." Except he doesn't. At least not anymore. Watch the film today, and the line is, "My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates." It's past tense. It may sound trivial, but consider how this phrase has been quoted, printed, and repeated over the years. Promotional material, parodies, and impersonations all use the phrase in present tense. Life is like, is how it became a universal metaphor. So did we all just misquote it for decades, or did the line actually change? Luke, I am your father. Star Wars. Let's move to arguably the most famous movie quote of all time. The line from The Empire Strikes Back, the line repeated by fans for 40 years, is, "Luke, I am your father." But that line no longer exists. In the film today, Darth Vader actually says, "No, I am your father." That's it. Just no. No mention of Luke's name. And yet, that version is etched into cultural memory. It's been used in merchandise, memes, toys, and satire. Even James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, has quoted the incorrect version in interviews. This example is so well known that it forces a question. How can the most iconic line in movie history be remembered incorrectly by virtually everyone? And if we're wrong, why does no one remember ever learning they were wrong until now? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Snow White. Another fairy tale classic. Everyone knows the phrase, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" Except it's not what the evil queen says anymore. In Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the current version reads, "Magic mirror on the wall." Magic mirror? Not only is this unfamiliar to most viewers, it directly contradicts decades of repetition in children's books, toys, animated shows, and derivative works. The phrase "mirror, mirror" is practically embedded in language, quoted far beyond Disney. So again, when did the mirror change? Play it again, Sam. Casablanca. One of the most enduring lines from classic cinema history is widely quoted as, "Play it again, Sam." But watch Casablanca, and that exact phrase never occurs. The closest is, Play it, Sam. Play as time goes by. There's no again, no full iconic phrase. And yet, play it again, Sam, has become the unofficial tagline of the film. It appears in print media, pop culture commentary, and has been referenced in other films for years. This kind of change suggests a gap not just in personal recall, but in how collective memory forms around cinema, even when the quote never existed. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Jaws. Here's another twist. The remembered line from Jaws is often recited as, "We're gonna need a bigger boat," but the actual quote is, "You're gonna need a bigger boat." The difference is subtle but important. Many people quote it with "we," perhaps to make it more inclusive or dramatic. But this isn't a one-time misquote. This is how the quote survived in cultural memory. It's been printed that way, referenced that way, and absorbed into everyday language. So why does every version outside the film say something the film itself never did? Interview with a Vampire versus Interview with the Vampire. This one's not a line, it's a title. The Anne Rice adaptation is now officially titled Interview with the Vampire. But millions remember it as Interview with a Vampire. Again, this isn't a one-off error. It was listed that way in newspapers, on old ticket stubs, and even by moviegoers. Fans recall reading the title as A Vampire, not The Vampire. That shift in article, A to the, changes the tone of the entire story and suggests another possible branding or publishing revision that's been quietly retconned. Shazam, the movie that never was? And finally, we have perhaps the most legendary example, Shazam, the Sinbad genie movie. Hundreds of thousands of people remember a 1990s film where comedian Sinbad played a genie. They remember the VHS cover, the storyline, even renting it at Blockbuster. But there is no record of this film ever existing. You'll find a movie called Kazam, starring Shaquille O'Neal, released in 1996. But that's not what people are remembering. They're remembering Sinbad, in a turban, in a lighthearted, comedic family film. They're remembering something that, according to every database and archive, never happened. Is this mass false memory, or the clearest proof yet of a lost timeline? When you look at these examples together, a pattern emerges, not one of individual confusion, but of collective displacement. These aren't minor lines or background details. These are the most quoted lines in cinema history, and they've shifted. Whether it's Sex and the City versus Sex and the City, or Luke, I Am Your Father, disappearing entirely, something about our cultural reference points is being rewritten, quietly, thoroughly, and without acknowledgement. So ask yourself, if they can change the most iconic lines in history, what else can be altered without our consent? And why does no one seem to notice until it's already gone? Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas, 11X published author, and what you just watched was only a taste of what's inside the Truth series, where we go all the way down the rabbit hole. If you're the kind of person who's always asking bigger questions, who knows there's more to this world than what we've been told, then this is your invitation to the series that was built for you. Inside the Truth series, you'll get full access to 6 mind-blowing sub-series designed to wake up your highest intelligence and decode the matrix we live in. 1. Locate the truth. Learn how to actually research, not just what to search, but how to verify, cross-reference, read declassified files, and protect your own mind from weaponized misinformation. This is truth-seeking, decoded. 2. The Mandela effect. Are we shifting timelines? Why do so many people remember a different past? We break down the most bizarre, undeniable examples of reality glitches and what they tell us about consciousness and control. 3. Law is magic. Law is not what you think it is. From word spells to maritime law and hidden contracts, we uncover how legal systems use language like a wand and how to stop being tricked by fine print that binds you without consent. 4. Entertainment or ritual. The Hollywood and music industries are not just for entertainment. From Super Bowl rituals to Grammy stage symbolism, we decode what's really being shown, who it serves, and why mass consciousness is the target. 5. Decoding dystopia. Ever wondered why dystopian fiction feels prophetic? In this subseries, we decode popular films and books, Hunger Games, 1984, Black Mirror, to reveal the hidden blueprints and predictive programming behind the plot. 6. MK Ultra plus mind control programs. This one gets deep. From real MK Ultra documents to modern symbolism in media, we expose how mind control operates in plain sight and how to free yourself from manipulation you didn't even know was happening. And that's just the beginning. If this resonated with you, click the links below and join us inside the Full Truth series, because the more you know, the harder you are to control. This is your awakening. We don't just ask questions, we find answers. Let's go all the way down the rabbit hole together.